Today I want to talk to you about cybersecurity monitoring best practices for small and medium businesses. A lot of SMBs think cybersecurity is just installing tools, but the real protection comes from continuous monitoring and knowing what's happening in your environment at all times. Continuous cybersecurity monitoring is critical because threats don't happen on a schedule. Most cyber attacks don't announce themselves. They start quickly. A suspicious login, malware sitting dormant, or credentials being abused over time. If you're only checking logs occasionally or relying on alerts during business hours, you're already behind. SMBs are targeted heavily because attackers assume no one is watching closely. So continuous monitoring means 24/7 visibility, early detection, and fast response, which dramatically reduces the damage when something goes wrong. Effective real-time threat detection requires more than one tool. At minimum, SMBs need endpoint detection, or EDR, or sometimes you'll hear MDR, for computers and servers. Email security to stop phishing and business email compromises. And then you also need to get that cloud monitoring for platforms like Microsoft 365 and Entra. And you have your network and firewall monitoring for unusual traffic patterns, right? So now you're looking at just your network. The real key isn't just the tools, it's centralized visibility. You want alerts and signals coming into one place so they can be correlated and not reviewed in isolation. This is where many businesses struggle. They have too much automation or they just don't have enough human review. Automation is great for speed and scale. It can detect anomalies, block obvious threats and generate alerts instantly, but automation alone is not going to be enough. You still need human oversight. You need people who can tell the difference between a real attack and then just normal business behavior. Really, the best balance is automation for detection and response, combined with human analysts for investigation, decision-making, and escalation. That's how you avoid both missing threats and alert fatigue. The biggest challenge is alert overload without context. Many SMBs either go to too many alerts that they don't understand, or worse, they ignore the alerts altogether because they don't know which ones matter. Another major challenge is limited internal resources. SMBs don't have staff sitting around, reviewing logs all day. Without proper monitoring, threats can go unnoticed for days, weeks, or even months, which is exactly what attackers are counting on. AI and machine learning, though, dramatically improve cybersecurity monitoring by spotting patterns humans would miss. Instead of relying only on known signatures, AI looks for behavioral anomalies, things like unusual login times, impossible travel, or systems behaving differently than normal. Over time, machine learning builds a baseline of normal activity and then flags deviations that could indicate compromise. And this results in faster detection, better prioritization, and earlier intervention, especially for advanced threats that bypass traditional defenses. Reducing those false positives while avoiding missing alerts comes down to best practices. First, you need proper tuning. Not every alert should be treated the same, and context really does matter. Second, correlate alerts across the systems. A login alert alone might mean nothing, but combined with endpoint behavior and email activity, it tells the full picture. Third, use human validation before escalating incidents. And finally, make sure there's a defined response process. Alerts are useless if no one knows what to do when one fires. For SMBs, cybersecurity monitoring isn't about buying more tools. It's about visibility, it's about response, and it's about consistency. If you don't have someone watching your environment 24/7, you're relying on luck, and that is no strategy for a business. Good monitoring turns cybersecurity from reactive to proactive.